Greetings. If you want to help me concerning this program, there are different ways to do it according to your needs and budget. What I propose you is to help you by helping me. For instance, I have a link with Peeping Rock for the best vitamins on the market for less, costing less money than the average vitamins on the market. I also have Eat for Energy with Yuri Elkane. Eventually, I have my Patreon. Those links are found on my channel. I will include it in the description of the video, and then I will also add other links afterwards, always related to either improve your health and or maintain your health. And you can, from the suggested links, you can choose according to your budget and your needs. It appears that not everybody, that people were not seeing those links, so I decided to highlight them. I do have a PayPal account, but there is no way that you can help yourself with my PayPal account. That's why I'm not including it, but so you know I do have one. And if you take the time, if you really do invest time to study my channel and my videos, you will easily realize that the content is of excellent quality. I'm just selling what helped me personally so far with my fatigue, my chronic fatigue, and I will affiliate myself with other people who are really helping people. So eventually I will have other links, so you will have more options available to you to help yourself while helping me. Hugging a tree. Step 1. Stand with your feet about shoulder width apart and have your knees slightly bent. As you advance in your training, you can bend your knees more until eventually your thighs are parallel to the ground. Always remember, though, to never extend your knees beyond the end of the toes. Hold your arms about level with your shoulders while having your palms about 2 feet in front of your chest. This position should look like the figure 7 on page 90. Step 3. Use either Buddhist or Taoist breathing as you breathe in and out through your nose, and keep your tongue lightly pressed against the soft palate of your mouth. Remember to breathe as slowly as possible. You should try to increase the strength of each of your breaths as often as you can. For example, if this week your normal inhalation-exhalation takes 10 seconds each, then the next week try to make them last for 11 seconds each. Eventually, maybe you will be able to make each breath last a minute or longer. Step 4. Hold this position as long as you can. Initially, you might only be able to hold it for a few minutes, but by practicing regularly, you will eventually build up enough strength to hold the position for 20 minutes per day. After you've gotten to the point where you can hold this position for 20 minutes, it will be time to start using moving weight and training. Take care of plants. Nature training encourages you to go outdoors and experience life to its fullest. The skills you will develop will help you explore the extremely subtle aspects of key identification, and manipulation that are necessary to effectively interact with your environment and all that it is in it. Take care of plants. Plants are one of the best sources of ki because they are some of the longest living life forms on earth. You should learn as much about them as possible. Learn how they grow and move, study how they live, take the time to discover what types of energy they contain. If you have a yard, you might want to plant a variety of trees, bushes, and flowers. In order for them to grow best, it is a good idea to use plants that grow naturally in your particular climate. Once you have a few plants, it is time to learn how to care for them. Obviously, they need water and sunlight, but there's a lot more to growing healthy plants than that. One of the easier things you can do for them is to play a variety of music to them on a regular basis. I know you have your own musical tastes, but when you're working with plants, try to stick with classical composers such as Mozart. Heavy metal and hard rock can actually kill plants. Perhaps our green friends can teach us a lesson or two if we're willing to listen. The next thing you will want to learn is how to give ki to a plant. Practice the tree regulations and Buddhist breathing. Don't use Taoist reverse breathing because you will build up too much energy for most plants to safely handle. Hold your arms in the air in front of you and point your palms at the plant. After you feel your palms getting warm from doing this weight bearing exercise, move them all around the plant and gently touch its leaves and stem. As you exhale, imagine your ki flowing down your arms, out of your palms, and into the plant. It is important that you don't overwhelm the plant with too much energy, or you could kill it. It is best to limit your ki work with plants to not more than a minute or so a day per plant. If you can, work with plants as the sun is rising in the morning. That way they can use your energy as they prepare for a new day. By sharing your flowing with plants, you will find that they will help you too. If you need a quick shot of energy, find a tree that seems to beckon you and go up and hug it for a few minutes. Then sit with your back against its trunk while you focus on Buddhist breathing. Relax and feel the rhythm of the tree as it gently sways with the breeze. Concentrate on allowing its energy to enter your body as you slowly inhale. Keep your thoughts relaxed and open and see if the tree sends you any intuitive messages or lessons. Maybe it will teach you about patience, adapting to circumstances, or communicating with nature. Our very existence depends on our brothers and sisters from the plant kingdom. They gave us oxygen, food, shade, and love. All they ask in return is for you to share your ki with them. Many people today want to save certain highly visible animals such as dolphins, whales, and wolves. That is wonderful, noble cause, but don't forget about plants. They need respect and care too. Connect with the rocks and minerals. People in almost all cultures throughout history have felt that various rocks and minerals held special powers. These powers do indeed exist, and if you want a little more of an edge in your key skills, I suggest you start working with earth elements. If you have never felt a stone's energy, you might want to try this. Pick up a small rock in one hand, sit down and relax. Practice the 3 regulations and use Buddhist breathing. Breathe deeply, slowly, and evenly. Hold the stone lightly in the center of your open palm. Focus your mind on the stone. Feel its shape, weight, temperature, and texture. Relax. In a few moments, you should start to feel a vibration in your hand, a pulsation actually. That is the energy moving from the rock to you. You may think all you are feeling is in your own pulse, but that is not so. If you have reached the level of Qigong training where you can detect your pulse within your body without having to press on a blood vessel or artery with one of your fingers, then you will know that the vibration of the stone and your own pulse are indeed 2 different beats. If you don't feel the sensation with your chosen stone, try another one. Eventually, you will be able to sense this energy. With time and sufficient practice, you should be able to feel the beat of a stone or a piece of metal or a living plant or animal at quite a distance. Carry rocks with you wherever you go. That way, when you feel like you need some grounding or perhaps a bit of energy, you can take some ki from the rock. Do this by holding the rock in your hand and extending your arm out at about a shoulder height. This one dang technique will build chi in your arm and hand. Focus your mind on the rock as you inhale, and some of its energy will flow into your hand. I have given numerous stones to people when I have taken them to extreme nature hikes, and they have all found that by holding the rocks in their hands, these stones gave them added energy, warmth, and insights. Take care of pets. Go to the local pound or humane society and pick out an animal. All of them crave the love and attention of a new owner. All of these animals are individuals and special in their own way. So go ahead, give them a chance. They can bring you happiness, devotion, and a special bonding that only an animal can give. Any animal can bring ki into your home. Each species has its own personal kind. Once you have a new pet, spend time with it. Learn how to extend ki from your hands and give it to your new pet wherever you can. As a Qigong beginner, the easiest way to do this is to hold both of your hands in the air in a similar manner to the exercise called hugging a tree. Then, very slowly reach out and massage your pet by holding your arms up while moving slowly. This Weidang position will increase the ki in your arms and hands so it can flow into your animal. By giving your pet ki, you can help it to have a long, healthy life. It can do the same thing for you. By the way, those excerpts are from the book Qigong, Chinese Healing Energy and Natural Magic by L.V. Carnie. It was recommended to me. By diligently practicing Qigong, you should eventually be able to attune to your pet's thoughts. In other words, it is possible to learn to talk to animals. You may be wondering how they can talk to you. Do they use language? Yes, sort of. They don't use language like the one you're probably used to. Instead of words and sentences, animals speak by using mental intuition, movement, and sound. They send pictures or thoughts into your mind. For example, I once found a baby fox in the mountains in Colorado. Its mother had been scared away by intense traffic while she was moving her litter to a new home, and she dropped the kit in the middle of a busy road. After 3 hours, she had not returned to her offspring. So I wandered up to the baby fox and asked her where she lived. I relaxed and focused on my breathing. Suddenly, I got a clear picture in my mind of a den about 200 yards away from where I was. Picking up the baby animal, I carried her to where I sensed the den was, and sure enough, I found it. We're talking, of course, about somebody who is really well trained, 15 minutes after dropping her off, her mother came to the old den, picked her up once again, and moved her to their new home. To start talking to animals, you have to become more observant. Take a look at your pet and watch it intensely. Study it. Learn how it moves. What does it do if it needs nourishment or love? Eventually, you will begin to realize that your pet is saying what your pet is saying. A dog might cock back his ears or wag his tail when he's happy. A cat might purr when he's content. A fish might rise to the surface of the water when he is hungry. All of these cases are examples of communication. With time and effort, you can get very good at meeting any needs your pet has. But there is a lot more that they can say, of course. There are also ways to tune to their own messages. Keep your body relaxed, your mind uncluttered, and your emotions calm. Breathe slowly through your nose. Practice the 3 regulations and Buddhist breathing. With each breath, imagine thoughts coming from your animal. Open yourself to the possibility. If you get an insight, follow it up to see if you're right. The more you practice, the better you will get. Animals can teach us many lessons, of course. They can teach us about love, compassion, gentleness, respect, fairness, and righteousness. Learn to enjoy animals of all kinds. As you encounter various animals, be open to what they have to say. Perhaps they need your help. Maybe they are telling you where something is that you need to find to know, or maybe they're just telling you it is a great day and it is good to be alive. These are so many animals out there that needs loving homes. So go ahead, open your heart and adopt a pet. You will be glad you did, because you will make a new friend. Identify different animal key. I'm just reading excerpts, of course, because you need to buy the book, and you don't have to buy a new book. If you prefer to have a used one, you can go to thriftbooks.com. Once you have learned to identify animal key, you will be surprised how many different creatures are around you all the time. Think for a moment about the last time you took a walk in the woods, in a park, or along the edge of a misty bayou. How many animals did you see? You might not have seen them, but they were there and they saw you. So why not learn to turn the tables a bit? When you are highly sensitive to their energy, you will be able to feel them even before they sense you. Then nature walks will take on a new meaning. Okay. Then nature walks will take on a whole new meaning. Not only will you know what is out there, you will know how many of them are there and how far away they are. Once you learn how to give a take key, It is your responsibility as a steward of animals to give them key whenever they need it, especially if you have borrowed some of theirs. I suppose a new sport called key tag. All you need to do is go into the wild and gather animals' key before they collect yours. It is a lot of fun than hunting with a weapon because you're helping the animal by giving it energy just as it is helping you by giving you some. Learn about weather and climate. To feel energy travel through your body, you need to put in a lot of work. Learning to control that energy requires extreme patience. You can also learn to take key from the sky when you need a quick boost of energy. Go outside and stand in a relaxed position with your arms stretched at the shoulder height and your palms facing the sun. Use the 3 regulations to relax yourself and breathe deeply, slowly, and softly using Buddhist breathing. Feel the sun as it strikes your palms. As you inhale, imagine the sunlight absorbing directly into your skin, and you will quickly feel your palms become warm. While still inhaling, try to picture the sun's energy moving through your hands and up your arms. Can you feel it? If not, keep trying. It will eventually come. Try to spend as much training time outdoors as possible. Train in rain, snow, and summer heat. Practice at the beach, in the mountains, and in parks. Don't always train at the same time. Sometimes go outside as the sun rises, sometimes as it sets. Train at midnight and noon. If your schedule permits, you should try staying out all night on occasion. It is a phenomenal experience. Personally, I train throughout the day and night, but one of my favorite times is between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., a time when the world seems quiet and energy moves freely. I often find myself getting so filled with ki during my 3-hour nightly sessions that I can perceive extremely small sensations, such as the vibrations of my cat walking across the carpeted floor 20 feet from me, or my partner's pulse as she lies on the opposite side of the bed. If you truly want to learn about the deeper intricacies of the flowing, then you must learn firsthand about the weather. Lie on the ground and watch the sky. I have many memories as a child on lying on my back on a field of grass while watching the sky. These seem like such special, magical times when nothing mattered. It was a time when anything seemed possible and all of life was simple, fun, and relaxing. Well, those days are not behind us. We can still experience them and gain a lot in the process. You may be wondering how merely relaxing could help you to achieve anything. After all, you need to pay the bills, fix dinner, and do a million things. But take a moment and consider this idea. When you allow yourself to become stressed, your blood vessels constrict, you breathe harder, and your muscles tighten almost to the point of bursting. Though you may not know this, you no longer are capable of functioning at peak efficiency. Though it seems like you can accomplish more if you push and strive and drive yourself mercilessly, that just isn't so. It is a myth created in ignorance and greed by our employers, teachers, and other authority figures. It is time to take a stand. Prove to yourself and others that you can indeed achieve your best results by learning to relax and, of course, by absorbing ki. By lying on your back on the ground while watching the sky, you're absorbing ki from both the earth and sky. You're relaxing your mind and body and you are opening yourself up to new ways of looking at life. Find a spot that seems to call you, then lie down and practice the three regulations. Use Buddhist breathing and feel your weight sink into the ground as your body relaxes. Then don't try to do anything other than to just open up your senses. Listen, smell, feel, and look. The art of reposing is both an ancient and lost discipline that needs to be revived. Take the time to practice the skill. If you think you don't have those precious moments in life to look after yourself and your own well-being, then ask yourself if you really know the inner secrets of time. If you're not really sure what this means, then take a few minutes each day to lie on the ground and watch the sky. Bonding with Cats on page 249. This is in the chapter Advanced Qigong, from the book I already mentioned, which is Qigong, Chinese Healing, Energy and Natural Magic by L.V. Carnie. And I'm just recommending this book just like it was recommended to me, and I'm reading the parts that are taking my attention at first glance. Bonding with cats. As you practice Qigong, sometimes you will discover you have developed some rather interesting and unusual skills. Once I have a lot of fun with an ability to bond with felines of all types. I first noticed this particular skill when I was 7 years old. I was walking around the Chicago Zoo when I found myself near the Black Panther exhibit. For some reason I felt drawn to this particular animal. As I watched him, he casually turned his back on me and urinated. Actually, he sprayed me. He hit me full in the chest from about 6 or 7 feet away. The rest of the day was most interesting because everyone wanted to know what that strange smell was. Since then I have been sprayed by 10 big game cats, including lions, tigers, leopards, and panthers. It had happened at zoos, parks, animal exhibits, and anywhere I've been in proximity to them. Of course, domestic cats have done this to me too, numerous times. Another type of bonding I have experienced in my ability to call literally any cat, domestic or wild, from a considerable distance. I do this in a number of ways. One way is by imitating their calls. Another is by focusing on them and sending out key. The third is simply by walking within 200 yards or so of them. Apparently they sense my key and are attracted to it. There have been times when I've taken walks around the block and have a dozen or so cats following me. I also frequently go into the woods with my guitar or Celtic harp and play music. I've noticed that any cat, domestic or wild, within hearing distance will come and listen. Once I played, 7 cats formed a circle around me. As they listened, they began sticking out their tongues in a feline sign of contentment and soon started lying down. After about half an hour, I stopped and got up to leave. As the cats stirred and started meowing. Obviously they wanted more. I told them I could play for a few more minutes. Once I finished, the second time they got up by ones and twos and wandered off into the forest. The point of all of this is show you that sometimes Qigong can cause some interesting and fun situations to arise. Therefore, practice diligently and open yourself up to any new experiences that might affect you. Who knows? Maybe you will develop a bonding with something unique. Perhaps it will be an animal, plant, or maybe even the opposite sex. It could be anything. Sensed Banki. Sensed Banki. Ki is energy, and energy is inherently neutral, but how that energy is used definitively affects. There is good ki and bad ki, and sensing the difference is a valuable skill. It allows you to accurately read people as well as to know if something dangerous is going to happen in a particular place. Many times I've gone to stores, restaurants, or parks and suddenly started sensing something was wrong. The key in the area just didn't feel right. I then respond according to the demands of the situation. This is page 250. You have probably sensed bad ki at some time or another in your life. You might have had a good feeling and awareness that something was wrong. Perhaps you felt it when people were looking at you. How many times have you been somewhere when suddenly you felt watched? Kind of eerie, isn't it? When you feel this, you need to listen to yourself instead of ignoring your senses. Of course, this also applies to people. You can learn to sense if people are lying to you or planning something sinister. One time I went in a used bookstore filled with rare books, and as soon as I walked in, I felt something terrible had happened there. The bad ki emanated from somewhere down the basement. The owner of the store didn't even want to walk into the basement with me to turn on the lights. He told me that if I wanted to go down there, I could find the switch myself. Being the lover of books that I am wanting to see his collection downstairs, I decided to go down anyway. I walked down a series of dark, rickety steps covered from floor to ceiling with cobwebs. When I got to the bottom, I found a single light bulb to turn on. It cast eerie shadows along the 7-foot-high rows of bookshelves. Feeling a sense of terror, I made my way through a confusing, irrational maze until I found the spot where it happened. Rape. I knew it in an instant. My breath had accelerated for a moment or two as my pulse soared. The horror happened a long time before, but its energy permeated everything. It was almost overwhelming. Fleeing the store, I vowed never to go back. Learning to become aware of your feelings and intuition and acting upon them can make your life a lot easier and safer. If you ever sense bad ki, trust your gut. Leave immediately unless someone needs your help. Before we go further to the video, I just want to say that today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp, in case you didn't know, BetterHelp is one of the best places online that you go to if you need a counselor or just someone to talk to. I know a lot of you guys out there, including myself, have struggled in the past, and in unfortunate situations, a lot of us still struggle to deal with that stuff. And it is where BetterHelp can, well, help. BetterHelp offers affordable online counseling You can get access to licensed, trained and experienced trained psychologists, marriage and family therapists, clinical social workers, and board licensed professional counselors. So there won't be any shortage of people who can help and just talk to you about anything you're struggling with. All you got to do is go to BetterHelp by using the link in the description box, then answer a few questions. They match you with the counselor based on those questions, and then you're all set. Plus, if you end up being paired with a counselor that you don't like, you can always switch to another one who suits you best. So yeah, if you guys do decide to check out BetterHelp, make sure to use the link in the description box or the comment section down below, as it does support the channel. And by the way, I am in convalescence. And with that being said, let's jump right into the video.